Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important tasks in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled. Grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just a faithful manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our county, and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Honorable members, I want to refer to our standing order number 32.2 on commencement of business and on quorum, and I direct that the quorum bell be rung for the first 5 minutes. As the quorum bell is being rung, only the whip is allowed to go out. All other members shall not go out until a determination is made whether there is quorum or not. Can you confirm if you have quorum? Boy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There is quorum.
Take us through the order of the day.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members. Order paper number 229 of Wednesday, 11th September 2024 at 9 a.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have got 2 communications to make. One is a reminder that today, after the afternoon session, all the members of the appointment committee are requested to attend a special sitting at committee room 1 for purposes of preparation for tomorrow's vetting of the 2 nominees, being nominee number 1 on the CC, for the CC member for water, environment, natural resource, and climate change position, and the second one being for member from professional groups to the city board. I have consulted and I'm aware that a number of members of the appointment committee are out. So officially, we are opting the member for water, environment, natural resources, and climate change, and the member for, the chairperson for water, environment, natural resources, and climate change committee, and the chairperson for lands and urban development to the appointment committee for the vetting process. So the 2 members to attend that meeting after the session. On the same note, the planned general oversight meeting that was supposed to be held tomorrow has been postponed to 19th of September 2024 at 11 a.m. So kindly please appraise yourself with the concerns, and those who have additional questions can submit to the clerk of the General Oversight Committee towards the same. Lastly, on the 3rd of September 2024, we received a letter from the Department of Agriculture inviting all honorable members of the County Assembly of Kisumu for a sensation workshop on the implementation of the status of the donor-funded National Agriculture Value Chain Development Project, NAVDA. The workshop is scheduled to take place for 2 days. That is on the 13th and 14th of September 2024 at Sarova Woodlands Hotel in Nakuru. Members are therefore requested to travel, if possible, tomorrow in the evening to Sarova, to Nakuru, and there shall be a facilitation by the partner. So you organize your accommodation and everything, but your per diem will be given thereafter. On the same note, I want to request all members to see Honorable Eunice Alando, the chairperson of the committee, for purposes of confirmation of your attendance. It's a list that you will sign to confirm your attendance, but there is another list that will be used to verify the same when you are in Nakuru. So at your convenient time in the course of the day, make your effort to see Honorable Eunice Alando, the chairperson of the Committee of Agriculture, for that confirmation. Otherwise, I wish you well as we proceed with this session. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, the Honorable Leader Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to lay the following papers. 1, pursuant to the provisions of Section 126(3) of the PFM Act 2012, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 11th September 2024, the Kisumu County Annual Development Plan for the financial year 2025-2026. 2. Pursuant to the provisions of Section 32 of the PFM Act 2012, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 11th September 2024, reports of the Auditor General on Migosi Sub-County Hospital for the years ended 30th June 2022 and 30th June 2023. And 3, pursuant to the provisions of the PFM Act 2012, I wish to table today, Wednesday, 11th September 2024, the Kisumu County Draft Finance Bill 2024. Thank you.
Honorable members, I want to confirm that the 4 documents have been properly laid before the House. That is the Annual Development Plan for the financial year 2025-2026, the Finance Bill, the Kisumu County Draft Finance Bill 2024, and 2 Auditor General's report, being the report of the Auditor General on Migosi Sub-County Hospital for the year ended 30th June 2022, and that for the year ended 30th June 2023. And I direct as follows that the 2 reports on Auditor's report be committed to the Committee of PICPAC. And I am aware that PICPAC has a lot of pending reports. I want to advise you that you can form 2 working groups. You are 7 in number, so it's possible for you to form 2 working groups. Liaise with the clerk to communicate to the Office of the Auditor General to add you more personnel so that you are able to fast track on the pending works. 2, the 2 reports, the Annual Development Plan and the Finance Bill, I want to commit all of them to the Committee of Budget and Appropriation. But I want to remind ourselves that, as you are aware, the budget making process has frameworks. And as per the framework, the Finance Bill should be approved or dealt with by at least 1st of October. So I want to urge the Budget and Appropriation Committee to give priority to the Finance Bill alongside the ADP. But the Finance Bill is very key. The executive had carried out their own public participation, so the committee understands what is supposed to be done when such budget is, such document is tabled to the House. So please, the budget chair, I'm aware is out on official duty, but the members of the budget who are here convey the same, and clerk, make it a priority that the Finance Bill is dealt with appropriately. Otherwise, next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
It is statement time. Next order.
Order number 8, commencement of business. Motion adoption of the report of implementation committee on the implementation status of projects approved in the financial year 2022-2023 by Honorable Henrietta Bodo.
Honorable Bodo informed me that Honorable Were will be moving the motion on her behalf. Honorable Were is there. Honorable Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to move a motion on report on implementation status of project approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023. Mr. Speaker, I'll seek the leave of this House to use the moving notes. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, The Select Committee on Implementation is mandated to scrutinize the resolution of the County Assembly, including the adopted committee reports, statements, petitions, and the undertakings given by the County Executive Committee, and examine whether or not such decisions and undertakings have been implemented within 60 days. Mr. Speaker, on 13th March 2024, a statement was raised on the floor of this Honorable House pursuant to the Standing Orders number 41, Section 2B, by Honorable Oiko Pete MCA representing Kabonyo Kanyagwal on the matter of implementation status of projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023. The statement was subsequently committed to the Select Committee on Implementation for inquiry and reporting pursuant to the Standing Orders number 184 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders. In the statement, the Committee on Implementation was requested to furnish this Honorable House with a report on the following. 1. The total number of complete projects and programs executed by the Executive under the ward-based allocation during the fiscal year 2022-2023 in each department. 2. The total number of complete projects and programs executed by the Executive under the flagship projects and departmental projects for the same period. 3. A detailed breakdown of the stalled and ongoing projects within the ward-based projects and programs and the flagship projects. 4. The specific ward or sub-county where the project is being implemented. 5. The approved budget allocation for each project. 6. The amount paid for each project. 7. Ongoing project. The response should contain the current percentage of works done. And 8. A clear way forward on the strategy for any stalled or incomplete projects, outlining the steps to be taken for their successful completion. Mr. Speaker, in considering the statement, the committee first held its sittings on 19th March 2024, during which it resolved that all relevant departments to furnish it with a detailed response on the issues highlighted on the statement. You can refer to the appendix number 1, a copy of letter written to the Executive. Subsequently, the committee at its meeting held on 6th May 2024 considered all the responses received from the relevant departments of the Executive and resolved to conduct site visits to validate over the same. Mr. Speaker, the committee therefore came up with a program to site visit, which, Madam Speaker, the committee therefore came up with a program of site visits which commenced on 26th July to 5th August. You can refer to the appendix 2. This comprehensive report, therefore, is a compilation of information gathered from projects visited as per the approved program, developed by the committee and approved by the Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, the methodology used during the inquiry on Speaker and members, due to the magnitude of the work and logistical challenges, the committee relied on the following methods and tools to gather the information needed. 1. Wrote letters to all relevant CEC members requesting them to furnish the committee with a detailed response on the issues as highlighted on the statement. 2. Held consultations with relevant officers from respective wards who could be reached, including ward administrators and sub-county administrators. 3. Visited sample projects in each and every ward as per the approved program. Madam Speaker, I want just to inform this Honorable House that we could not visit all the projects within the county because we have several projects in different departments. 4, Madam Speaker, we held interviews with key stakeholders on site. And 5, use of observation during the site visit. 6, we use of templates for MCS to assess responses from the Executive. And 7, took photographs on certain projects. Madam Speaker, details of the implementation status of the all approved ward-based projects for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Madam Speaker and honorable members, the committee has a detailed report on all approved ward-based projects which were sampled during logistical implications. Due to logistical implications, we can now refer to the main body of the report. I think the report was sent to all our pages, and I hope members have gone through them. Madam Speaker, Committee General Observation. Number one, there are concerns that key stakeholders are either rarely or insufficiently consulted regarding the scope of work outlined in the Bill of Quantities. Two, the provision of basic amenities such as water and pit latrines for the ECD centers remains inadequate and inhuman, as the essential needs are not considered during the project initiation phase. Three, there is general laxity and detachment of some departmental officials from regular inspection of projects in respective wards. Four, there is a lack of initiative and responsibility among members of the public in safeguarding the county projects. This follows many cases including vandalism and diverting water services for the public into personal commercial use. Number five, the offices of public participation. The offices of public participation and monitoring and evaluation domiciled within the executive appear moribund in fast-tracking projects and giving regular updates. Number six, Madam Speaker, the Committee on Implementation was unable to make comprehensive and informed decisions due to lack of expertise in the diverse areas covered by the BQs. This is largely attributed to insufficient funding. Number seven, completed projects take too long to be officially opened, leading to deterioration and unnecessary additional cost and apathy from the citizen. Eight, there are suspected cases of impropriety or negligence concerning some projects allocated in the budget and the funds dispersed for them. Madam Speaker, the committee recommendations. One, that there is proven negligence or misuse of public funds, particularly where money has been allocated and dispersed without actual project in place. Officers found culpable should be investigated and prosecuted in a court of law. The Committee on General Oversight should direct the executive to urgently engage investigating agencies to conduct this investigation. A report detailing the action taken should be submitted to the House within 60 days. Two, that a formal request should be made to the Excellency the Governor, emphasizing the need and urgency for his officers to conduct regular inspections of projects within their utmost importance. This should include officers of public participation and the monitoring and evaluation within the executive. Furthermore, reports from all these officers should be submitted to the House for thorough examinations, followed by prompt actions in the interest of residents of Kisumu County. Three, that going forward, the House pass a resolution emphasizing the need for sufficient budget allocation to enable all committees to effectively fulfill their oversight roles with a particular focus on regular visits. This should include engagement of experts in areas such as interpretation and understanding of the Bill of Quantities during these visits. Number four, that this House pass a resolution requiring the executive to ensure that contractors on the site regularly consult with project stakeholders, particularly technical personnel, throughout the entire project cycle. This ensures that the stakeholders are fully involved in understanding the scope of work within the BQs. Number five, that this House pass a resolution on writing a formal letter to the executive urging them to prioritize the provision of basic amenities such as water and pit latrines for the ECD learners during the initial stage of project implementation. Six, that this House pass a resolution urging leaders within the Kisumu County in general to continuously take initiative in fostering patriotism among the public. This will help safeguard the projects in their respective wards, especially given the limited resources available. This follows numerous cases of vandalism of projects and incidences where water meant for the public use has been converted for personal commercial purposes. Number 7, that a formal letter be written to the executive within 40 days, urging them to prioritize the formal opening of completed projects. This will help prevent dilapidation and the unnecessary wastage of public funds and public capacity. Madam Speaker, in conclusion, Madam Speaker and honorable members, it is now my honor and privilege on behalf of the Committee on Implementation to move this motion before this honorable House for consideration and adoption. And Madam Speaker, I would kindly request the senior member of this committee, Honorable Boyton Ratib, to second. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Boyton Ratib.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I was still looking at the adoption schedules to check if I signed this document, but I believe I signed it because I've been participating on this since its inception. Madam Speaker, before I give my comment on the same, allow me to applaud the work of this committee. Madam Speaker, the committee, in its own wisdom, has made it very easy for members of the committee also to participate actively in the activities of this committee. You realize yesterday, a motion was moved by the chair. Today, a motion is being moved by the vice chair. Tomorrow, a motion for the same committee will be moved by Honorable Boyton and will be seconded by Honorable Ajumbo. And that gives members the urge and the morale to work as a team. Madam Speaker, this report should be passed as soon as possible, because the recommendations that are given here, following the fact findings that the committee did on site visits, are true to the latter. Madam Speaker, it is very unfortunate that in some projects, public funds were used and those projects never kicked off. I think officers who are concerned in these areas should be held responsible. And we need to set some examples by maybe pushing forward for prosecutions of these officers. It is pathetic that public funds are used and projects are not done in that respect. Madam Speaker, I also support the report because the Committee of Implementation has come out very clear to do the oversight which is mandated by the Constitution to this government. It is our oversight authority, and what we are doing now at least will put the executive on toes as to do the best service delivery to the citizen of Kisumu County. Madam Speaker, insufficient budget is also cutting across in most of these projects. This is because we find projects are being allocated funds before the BQs are made. What comes out in such kind of situations? Very clear. In most cases, the funds that are allocated are not in line with the BQ. And this puts us in a very difficult situation because the contractors may now not end up doing the work, the scope of the work as per the BQ, but will concentrate given the allocations as per those projects. I like what the Department of Infrastructure is doing currently. Yesterday we met And they are sending the team, they are sending the engineers to look at the scope of work in each and every financial year, so that when allocations will be done, the allocations will be done in relation to the BQs. That is quite encouraging, and I encourage other departments to follow suit. Madam Speaker, there are some areas where the committee found projects like ECD classrooms that are operating, and there are no ablution blocks. This is quite pathetic. Madam Speaker, the county government should wake up, and if need be, maybe we can put pressure so that these ECDs be closed. Because in the real sense, they are putting our young kids at risk. Imagine young 5 years, boys and girls going to school where there is no ablution block. This is quite unfortunate, especially in this era. And Madam Speaker, lastly, the recommendation number 6, which is encouraging the community to take responsibility of these projects. This will be the best way of making sure that these projects are taken care of, and if this kind of initiative is taken, then I think the sustainability and the ongoing sustainability of these projects will be actually achieved. Madam Speaker, I want to second and thank you for the opportunity.
Honorable members, now that a motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on the implementation status of projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023 has been presented by Honorable Were and seconded by Honorable Ratiboitu. I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion on adoption of the report of the Implementation Committee on the implementation status of projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023 is now open for debate. Yes, Honorable Kennedy Oko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much. But first and foremost, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the committee for coming up with a very elaborate report. And I will also extend this to the member who presented this, Honorable Iko Pete. At least we have seen an expose. There's a lot of things going around within the implementations of the projects, which are not exposed to the citizen and the house. Madam Speaker, I want to be general by supporting the report. We have a problem with the Department of Monitoring and Evaluation. Madam Speaker, this department is seen by some other government agencies as a auditing department, and it is feared. This is because these people are not understanding the need and the importance of monitoring and evaluation department. Madam Speaker, we are employing personnel and qualified personnel to do the monitoring and evaluation. And this is a department which would actually give us the best measurement when the implementations are done. And you know, they are appearing nowhere. And surely, Madam Speaker, this is a department which should work very closely with the implementation committee of the House. Madam Speaker, I think we need to advise so that some of these officers maybe are transferred or retrained on what is expected of them. Madam Speaker, if this is not done, we will lose a lot of money. There's a lot of disconnect in the work of government agencies. The Department of Public Works just go there and work as their own without considering probably the Department of Education. And the Department of Budget, which is in charge of paying the money, will just pay without contacting the Department of Public Works. There's a lot of disconnect, Madam Speaker. And this is why we are failing to achieve on projects which are by the public coffer. Madam Speaker, I don't know who to be blamed here. Is it the county secretary? Is it the minister in charge of public service, and who should put things in order so that the whole agency works together for the benefit of the people? We are failing. Madam Speaker, when you find that there's a lot of vandalism on projects which are done by the government, it means the public is not fully involved, even at the start, inception, and at the handing over. Maybe they do it on their own without involving the people, so that the people know they own the project. The project is not for the government, but it is for the people. I think we need to work on this. And I would request the implementation committee to meet the all agencies concerned with the projects from the start of inception to the start to the end result of handover. This will make the project be a collective, like a collective responsibility to all the agencies which are concerned. And if we don't do this, Madam Speaker, it is obvious that we will continue experiencing loss of public fund, misuse of public funds, and mispriority in terms of projects to be done according to the demand of the people. Madam Speaker, I hereby support the report in full. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Moderator Jumbo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to support this report. I'm a member of the Implementation Committee, and I want to confirm, Madam Speaker, that this document is true. I want to just commend our Honorable MCA, Honorable Oikopete, for bringing up a statement on the matter of implementation status of the projects approved in the financial year 2022-2023. And the committee went ahead to contact the department through consultations, letter writing, and the committee held interviews with key stakeholders on site. Madam Speaker, when we visited the site, there were quite a number of observations that were made on the site. And if you look at the observations, maybe I can just highlight on maybe one or two, that there are concerns that key stakeholders are either rarely or insufficiently consulted regarding the scope of work. And then the item 2, there's also the certain amenities that miss, like when we are putting up a project like the ECDs. ECDs are classrooms where young children learn between ages of 3 to 5 or 3 to 6. And you can imagine putting up a block, an ECD block, where the block is completed, the children completely have no toilets, so they share toilets with the grown-ups. So there was a concern there, an observation there. And the committee had several observations. On observation 5, the Office of Public Participation, Monitoring and Evaluation, is domiciled within the executive appear moribund in fast-tracking projects. And when you look at the recommendation on the office of this office that is dealing with monitoring and evaluation, I'm just looking at the item where the committee has made recommendation on item 2. The committee's recommendation that a formal request should be made to His Excellency the Governor, emphasizing the need and urgency for his officers to conduct regular inspections of projects with the utmost importance. This should include Office of the Public Participation and Monitoring and Evaluation within the Executive. Furthermore, reports from all these officers should be submitted to this House for examination. I want to agree with the committee, Madam Speaker, that this office that does monitoring and evaluation, immediately the projects are done, the said Office of Monitoring Evaluation, they go around inspecting projects. And when you look at some of these projects that are not completed, sometimes you wonder, because when you look at that, I don't have the attachment, but I think all of you have it, that you look at a project that was started, the project is 60% complete, yet there is a team that is called monitoring and evaluation. So sometimes you wonder, what does this team do? It is high time this assembly, through the committee of the whole House, call the team that is called the monitoring and evaluation to come and explain to the assembly exactly what they did in the financial year 2022-23, so that the members can know exactly what this team does. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support.
Honorable Rakwach.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to give my comments on the report. First, I wish to appreciate the honorable member who came up with a statement, that is Honorable Pete Oiko, which has enabled the committee to investigate and report back to the House. Secondly, I wish to thank the members for implementation committee for the work that they have done within a short time and bringing every member of the county assembly on board so that we know the status of implementation of these projects that they have aligned here. I want to agree with the report that sometimes implementation is done and with the oversight team, we don't even know the extent of work. We don't know the scope of the work. I may want to implore on other members of other sectoral committees so that we put our departments to task, as we are already doing it on our Committee of Infrastructure, such that before the work commences on site, the BQs are made available, the blank BQs, so that we really know the scope of the work. So that at the end of the day, the contractor will not do some activities and leave out some other activities. I think this one makes it easier, even for a follow-up. When the implementation committee now goes on the ground to look at whatever has been implemented, then they have where to make reference, whether the implementation is 100% or some activities were left out. I've also seen a recommendation which is touching on a follow-up by the Committee of Infrastructure, Energy and Public Works concerning the condemned buildings, and there is a recommendation that the Committee of Infrastructure follows up with the Department of Infrastructure so that a report can be made to that effect, and maybe something can be done as of what was requested by the letter. I've not yet seen the letter. I don't know whatever is in the letter, but I know with the follow-up, we'll get to know the content of the letter and report back to the House appropriately, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is only a point whereby I want to give a comment, like the degrading projects, whereby the report has stated that sometimes it takes long before these projects are occupied, and this one results in degrading. I want to disagree. I think it is only the workmanship. Because a house sometimes can be designed, the design life of this building is at least 50 years. And if you get a situation whereby a project is completed, maybe 1 year it has not been commissioned, and it starts degrading, then that one brings us to a conclusion that the project was not well done, was not well implemented. Maybe it is a matter of ratios. If it was a construction involving the use of cement, sand, and even ballast, it is the issue of ratios. Maybe if it is painting, you may have got that the building was painted cream, and now the color is changing. It has a lot to do with the quality of the paint. So I think that one is just the quality. The quality. If we don't get it right when we are doing the implementation, the results will be there. And now we cannot blame it on maybe the time that the house takes before it is occupied. In fact, it is the occupation of the house that sometimes can bring some degrading, even the some dots on the paint and what have you. So I think that is the small correction that I wanted to make. But I think if we go this way, then we are now going to get it right. We should not just let the executive do the work as we sit in the assembly. But when we go out there and try to check whatever they are doing, then I know in the future, these people or the executive, our engineers, our experts, the contractors, they will implement our projects to the standards that are there specified in the BQs, and they will do a quality job. Otherwise, thank you very much. I support.
Yes, Honorable Dede.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also have a comment to make over the report. First of all, I congratulate the team for the work well done. Being that we sit in the assembly and we have got the 3 roles to do the legislation part of it, do the oversight role, and representation. The bit the committee did of doing the oversight was well done. And to more appreciate them, they decided to select on wards, and a project in each and every ward was visited. My worry, Madam Speaker, is that concerning the report the committee has brought, you find that in some projects which they visited, like the one, an ECD at Dagothim ECD, which was done, and the committee has brought the remarks concerning the work done. We found that the work was done, and the appropriated money was allocated about 1.6 million. It stated that the money has been paid, yet if you walk at the ground, contractors usually claims. So I would urge the committee that while doing the research, they should see that even if the work was done and they received the information from the department that the work has been paid, the work done has been paid for, they should do the follow-up to see if the work was really paid for, because the contractors are really crying outside, claiming that they have not been paid. Secondly, Madam Speaker, concerning a project they visited at East Kanawa, there was the one for fencing. It's good, they did it everything, and the work was done 100% to completion. And since the work was completed about 2 years ago, the contractors have not yet handed off the project to the community to start utilizing, and we find that the facility is starting to dilapidate with signs of crumbling walls. And the committee also recommends on that the urgent measures to be taken, that there should be some allocation on a budget in the subsequent financial year so that we do the renovation. And to my take is that the project should be handed over immediately so that even if the renovations takes place after we've seen the value for money. And if we move to another area in Seme, North Seme, Madam Speaker, it's good the Committee of Implementation decided to visit the St. Barnabas Water Project. And likely enough, the Committee of Water and Environment made a site visit in January. And what we found at the ground was no work was done. And after our visitation, I'm seeing that there's something has been done. It means after the visitation with the Water Committee, the department decided to do something after the visitation. And instead that the work done was 100% to completion. And the department's remark shows that it's functional. Being that the Committee of Implementation decided to visit the project physically, they found that the project is not functional. So it means there's disparity of the information being brought to the floor, and with that, it should be in note that the department should be clearly invited to the assembly to state what transpires, because if the department shows the remark that the work is completed, is functional, and the oversight team goes to the ground, finds that there's nothing taking place, I think that one should be at least invited to the assembly so that they state for us what is needed. Concerning the project visited in Northwest, the Shivalu Water Project, Madam Speaker, it's also stated that the project, the tank which was erected is functional. Yet when the committee went there, the department's recommendation shows that it's functional. And when the committee decided to to visit the site, there's nothing which is going on, and it doesn't have the value for money. And being that we also visited it, and the recommendations that the implementation committee got is what we also found at the ground, that the size of the tank was not as per the stated in the bill of quantity. And if we move to another project in Moroni Koru, Madam Speaker, I'm worried with a project called the electrical work and equipping of Koru dispensary. It seems that the 3 million was allocated for the project. Amount was well paid and work done to completion of 100%. And if you move further on, it is that there's another location in a subsequent current financial year, the same 3 million. What is this 3 million going to do? And we've not been informed about the booking of what it is intended, the purpose intended for the 3 million. Being that the 3 million was well consumed, work done to completion. The 3 million allocated in the same financial year does not set the scope of work, which is to be done in the subsequent financial year, Madam Speaker. And going to page 29, my worry comes about the project in Central Nyakach Ward, where there is a proposed completion of Paponditi Market. The allocated amount was 15 million Kenya shillings, and the amount paid is not indicated, amount of work done not indicated, and it shows that there was a termination of the project. Being that the termination was done, they would have indicated at what particular point was the termination done, what percentage of work had already been covered in Paponditi, so that we have the clarity over the the allocated money, Madam Speaker. And finally, as per the recommendations of the group, Madam Speaker, it's prudent that the committee, so it's nice to invite the department so that to come and bring the clarity over the project status, being that money has been appropriated and been allocated and appropriated for the use. So I concur with the committee that let the department come and bring the clarity concerning the status and compare whatever we found on the ground and make it clear that the taxpayers' money is well utilized for the intended purpose. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I support the report. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Benny Oikopete.
Madam Speaker, this statement was raised by me, and there was a time a response was brought to this House, and I applaud the members of the Assembly for the action they took on that day. They saw their real oversight role, which is in order. Madam Speaker, today as we look at this report, the report does not adequately answer the matters that were raised. The report does not adequately answer the matters that were raised. The key matters which were raised in this report were the ward-based projects. Because during that financial year, each ward was given about 10 million. We wanted to see the 10 million that was awarded to each ward, what projects were to be done, which projects were they per department, and were they done to completion? Are they ongoing or they stalled? That is not there, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when I look at this report, every department was notified to respond to that matter. And the committee is not clear whether each department responded, giving a picture that they did not respond to the request of the committee. The committee now decided to go to the ground, which is good, to verify. And when you look at this report, on the committee going to the ground, from page 10 to I think about page 30 to page 30, the committee has struggled to identify one project per ward. That is what the committee has tabulated here. A project per ward. When you look at on page 29, Southwest Nyakach, completion of Radienya Kodola Road. That is on Southwest Nyakach. You go to Southeast Nyakach, what? Completion of Nyamaroka Papundege Body Road. They have identified each project per ward. The other projects, they have not bothered to tell us the status. That is word-based. Falling short of what the questions wanted to be answered. When you go through this report, Madam Speaker, the flagship projects are not touched. The flagship projects are not touched. Leaving the question, were they there? Were they done? Did they stall? Or what happened? And Madam Speaker, this kind of question is a good way of interrogating the work of the government. And it will give us a picture of what is going on the ground. And more so, we shall be able to know which wards are favored and which wards were given only 10 million. Those were now the silent features that were needed, that would have come out if the questions were adequately answered. Madam Speaker, as we go on some pages which are not numbered, and I've raised this, and other members have raised this from time to time, that all the pages in the report should be numbered for easy reference. And I beg that you order that. Their visit to the wards is also captured, but the pages are not numbered. Then when we go to the last page, details of projects, financial year 2022-2023. This is extracted from the approved budget, which is not bad. It is to give us the picture. But we wanted clear information on this project. Like the flagship project, Moi Stadium, 50 million. Was it done or not done? Development of Kitmekai, East Seme, was it done or not done? So, fellow members, we need to know from the executive whether each financial year work is being done adequately or not. And when the departments cannot give a response to this kind of question, there is a big question mark. What is going on in the government? Because the details of projects that is given here, who are supposed to execute them? Who are supposed to implement them? It's the executive. So are we telling our people that only the one project per ward explained here were the projects that the executive did? The detailed projects were not done? If that kind of information, clear information, cannot be brought to this assembly. So, Madam Speaker, Honorable Akwach was questioning the content of the statement. And the content of the statement is on page 8 of this report. So the committee and honorable members, if we don't take the executive to task, projects will not be done. A lot of things will be in the budget which we don't understand. And we shall have failed in our oversight role. So my plea to the honorable members, the questions are not adequately answered. And why departments, and why the Department of Finance could not give an adequate answer is the big question. So I plead with the members, we take the matter back to them. We want specific answers. I so contribute, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Nikechi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a member of the Implementation Committee, there's some things that I probably just want to explain or maybe expound on a bit. A question was raised on the floor of the House. The committee did their job as best they could. Our job is to inquire from the executive, Madam Speaker, which we did, and of course we got answers. From what we got from the executive, our job was to scan through the report that was sent back to us and look at glaring gaps in the projects that was given in the reports, which we did. We could not go to all the projects, Madam Speaker. We try to scan the ones that were glaring and the gaps who are actually really big to go to. And I think it's been adequately captured in the report that we sent back. Madam Speaker, I am not sure if Honorable Member from Kabonyo Kanyagwal has a specific
Point of information,
question.
Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Dede, what do you want to?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'm worried over the member contributing. No, it's contributing or replying from the statement being made by the Honorable Member. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Proceed, Honorable Mickey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm a member of the committee and I think as stated as such, I am contributing. I am contributing as a member of the said committee. So,
Madam Speaker, she's right to contribute and to challenge by submission. That's what she's doing. She's right to contribute in our own way and challenge my contribution. That is allowed.
Use the mic, Honorable Roiko.
I'm saying she's right to contribute and challenge my contribution. And it will only be logical when she's citing facts. Let us cite the facts.
Honorable Mickey, proceed.
thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm supporting this report fully. If there are specific areas that the said member feels have not been adequately responded to, then he can put that specific question. But as a committee, I do not think that is our job to only go and look into one matter. We look at all the projects because it was stated as all of the projects of this county, Madam Speaker. I support. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Pamela.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Looking at the mood of the House, I want to call upon the mover to reply.
Honorable James Were, it is your turn.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity to, first of all, thank and congratulate Honorable Peteiko for having given us the agenda to discuss. It is because of Honorable Oiko's issue that we got the task to perform as a committee. Madam Speaker, as I said before during my report presentation, we said that we were working on a specific timeline that was given by this by Honorable Speaker. We were given 7 days to perform this task, and considering the number of wards that we have within Kisumu County, we have 35 wards with several projects that were going on or that had been implemented. So, Madam Speaker, that's why I mentioned that we did a sample and we were not able to go to all these projects. Madam Speaker, we cited cases that were needed intervention, and we came up with a raft of recommendations that if put in place, then check and balances will be able to be conducted. Madam Speaker, I want to thank all the honorable members who have deliberated on this matter, whether positively or negatively, because in this honorable house, sometimes we disagree to agree, and sometimes we agree to disagree. Madam Speaker, Honorable Iko seems not to be satisfied because according to his remarks, he has said that the committee has not adequately addressed all these concerns that were presented in the statement or the motion. But Madam Speaker, I think one of the recommendations there is that the matter be addressed by the Committee of the Oversight. If there is some little aspect that the committee did not address, then we shall get another chance to address it. Considering all the projects that you mentioned, the 10 million word-based projects, the flagship projects, like the one that you have cited about the Moi Stadium, we shall get an opportunity to dig to the root of that matter and come with a conclusion during that oversight, general oversight meeting. But I want this Honorable House, I want to make it clear that we were working under specific timeline. Otherwise, let me also thank the committee for having stood tall, spared their time to go around so that they could work and bring the clearer picture to this Honorable House. I also want to thank our Secretariat for having worked tirelessly to ensure that this report is delivered. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I beg to reply.
Thank you, Honorable Were. Honorable members, now that the motion on adoption of the report of Implementation Committee on the implementation status of the projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023 has been presented, seconded, and debated, I want to put a question. And I put that as many of the opinion that the motion on the adoption of the report of the Implementation Committee on the implementation status of the projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023 as presented and deliberated upon be adopted, say aye. Aye. As many as the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
Benuling.
And the motion on the adoption of the report of the Implementation Committee on the implementation status of the projects approved in the fiscal year 2022-2023 has been adopted today, Wednesday, 11th September 2024 at 10:19 hours. And I want to direct that the recommendations of this report and of the House debate be forwarded to the relevant departments for action and implementation. I also direct that the Implementation Committee follow up on the implementation of the same. Next order.
There is no any other business person for transaction.
Honorable members, let us be upstanding. There is no any other business before this Honorable House. Therefore, they stand adjourned till today, Wednesday, 11th September 2024 at 2:30 p.m.